Hey everyone, Maury Curtis Dunbar here. Welcome back to Painted Studio. We are working on more Christmassy holiday items here. Today we will be working with heat transfer vinyl adhesive, HTVA. We'll probably be referring to it as that because that's a lot of kind of a big mouthful for me to say. Hey Donna and Terry, nice to see you here. So I just want to remind everybody, we are in the middle of our Black Friday week-long sale. It started yesterday and it is going till next Monday at midnight. It is 15% off site-wide with some exceptions. The exceptions are faux effects products, custom work, and classes. Those are not discounted. And if you buy 5 feet of foil, you get 1 foot free. Now, that is not a reduced price on the foil. You're not going to get 15% off on the foil. And that deal, you get 5 feet, and then you get the free foot. All you have to do is put in the notes which foil you'd like for your free foot. And this can be done as many times. If you buy 30 feet, you get, however many, geez, I can't divide right now, 6 feet free. Sorry, guys, I completely forgot how many times 5 went into 30. So you have, if you buy 30 feet of foil, you get 6 feet free, and it does not have to be all the same kind. Just put in your notes what it is you'd like as your extra feet. So then the discounts are taken automatically at the cart with the exception of the foils. In the foils, you just purchase the foils and let me know what you want for your free feet after you've purchased 5. All right. We're going to work on heat transfer vinyl adhesive today. And we're trying a new tripod setup. We're trying some new lighting. So hopefully this will all work better and you all will be able to see what I'm doing better. That's the glare in my glasses that you're going to get. Thank you, Jody. My math worked out. Yay. And thank you. You're very sweet. So hopefully there'll be enough lighting for everybody to really see what I'm doing, and we're going to get better with it. I'm trying all these different things to make it so that the videos are better for you all. All right, so I'm going to flip some lights down first to make sure that they're on our surface and we can see things well. And then I'm going to flip the camera down. And this is electric, so this is going to be interesting. I haven't done this one before, and I just got to make sure you're in frame. Yay, it worked. Okay, a little bouncy. So over last weekend, I had cut out and weeded the majority of several heat transfer vinyl adhesive patterns. And you'll see which ones we're working on. I did Christmas ornaments and snowflakes and candy canes and a Santa face and a truck and trees and all kinds of stuff. So the first thing I think we're going to do is we're going to do one. Yeah, and I managed to remember to cut things correctly so that things won't be reading weird. We're going to do one little thing with a truck and a tree. And I think for that one, we're going to work on a couple of different kinds of bags. This happens to be more of a muslin, heavyweight, almost sailcloth kind of bag, coarser, unbleached canvas kind of stuff. And we're going to use a tree that says, believe in the magic. And then on the other side, we're going to do a little truck. So the first thing, of course, I have to do is weed out the extra background. Now, when you cut these, if you're doing lettering, you have to remember to mirror your cut so that when you weed it, it looks like it's backwards. And I'm showing it to you this way so you know what it backwards. But for me, if I look at it the same way I just showed you, it reads correctly. And it's the same thing you have to do with anything with print, because what you're going to be doing is this is the side that gets cut, and then you flip it over to press it onto your surface. So you want to be able to read it correctly through the back mounting tape. All right, so I'm going to peel this off. Now, I never, when I do a whole lot of projects like this and I weed a lot of these, the one thing I don't do is weed the background. And the reason for it is this is sticky. And if I don't use it right away, it gets stuck to everything. So I like to make sure that I can actually have this not be adhesive and get all covered in lint and crud. Now, all the stuff that I'm pulling off here is actually the transfer vinyl. And this stuff, when we hit it with the iron, it will melt to the surface of the fabric, and then you mount the foil to that using heat. We sell this in rolls of 3 feet, and we also have custom cut designs that are available. I haven't put the Christmas ones on yet, but those will go up later today. I want to see how, I cut a bunch of different patterns, so I want to see how they transfer before I mount them, put them on the site, because if they look like crap when I finished with them, I don't want to sell them to you guys. All right, now, there is a corner up here that has a couple small cuts done. Sorry, got to hold, there it is. When they did this, for whatever reason, how Cricut decides these things, it left out the center of certain letters, and so I have the centers to mount, but I have to find them, and that's part of the fun with this. Yippee. You don't see this easily. Now, when we send this to you, we also, a pre-cut one or a roll, we send you these little finger lights so that when you hold it down to the surface, it actually sort of illuminates that little cut edge better for you to be able to weed it. I'm telling you that having done this a lot of times, when I'm going in here to weed out these little tiny designs, it's way easier to do it with the extra light. Also, a great helpful tip, don't weed this stuff on a light surface. Weed it on a piece of black paper or dark brown or something like that, because the lines don't show up well. If you put white on top of white, you won't see the areas that needed to be weeded at all. Even with the light, it just will make your life much harder if you do this on a white surface. Now I'm coming over to this side, and there are some of the small insert pieces for the letters mounted right over here. So I just have to pull that spot carefully. Okay, this is all done, but this is actually the glue. This is the what you're going to use to fuse. All this stuff is what's the fusible part. Okay, so now I have these little, I'm gonna zoom in a bit. So right here in this corner, let's see if you can see them. There are these little spots, and what they are is the center of the letters like G or O that don't have their middles because of the way this pattern, this one particular one was designed. And this has some letters centers as well, so I just gotta weed that one out. Alright, let me get this one. Oh, come on, you little stinker. I know you're right there. That's not what I wanted to do with that. I just punched a hole. Oh well. It'll be fine. I'll figure it out. So that, I know, being the biggest one, goes in the center right there. And I'll pull that one to the side. Okay, here's a center to my O. So I'm just taking this tweezer and placing it in. If I was doing this, you know, with vinyl, I'd be doing this, like just regular vinyl that I was applying to something, I'd be doing the same thing. Oops, that one shifted. I need to turn this around and see it a little better. Let's see if you can. There we go. There's that one. Here's another E. Okay, now I have one more little one, and I just have to figure out where it goes. Ah, right in there. Okay, so this says, believe in the magic of Christmas. And we're going to take our tote bag here. Now, ideally, you want to wash everything before you put the heat transfer vinyl adhesive on here. And the reason for that is because all of this stuff is made with size. They put a sizing on it so it stays nice and crisp. And so if you don't wash it, you might not get a great adhesion, or it looks like it's good and then you wash it and it peels off. I've had that happen with clothing that I did this on. Now, tote bags I don't wash so much. I did not wash these, so we could have some bonding issues, but that's okay. I know that going in, and you know it going in with me. So now I've got my iron set. Right now it's set on silk, and generally I don't find that the silk temp works that well. I like better on mine wool, but you have to check your irons. You have to test this. If you've got an older iron, I mean, I've seen people go all the way up to linen on their iron because this wasn't hot enough. But it depends on how old your iron is, how good it is. Right now, I'm just running this over here, and the clearer the adhesive becomes, the better your release is going to be. So I'm going to slowly move my iron down to make sure I've got a full release. And do not wait for this to cool off to remove it. You want it to be good and hot, because then the vinyl adhesive will pull off the backing and stay adhered to the fabric. If you do it the other way around, if you cool it off, it'll stay stuck back to the plastic and rip all it to heck on your surface, and it'll just make a big mess. So I'm just making sure I'm good and bonded here. I don't want to miss any spots. And be patient. Now I'm going to pull it back and see how my release is going. And this is coming off very nicely. I like how this is coming off. Please don't do anything bad between now and the end of this. Yay! Now, I did hesitate there for a second when I pulled it back. And I got a little tiny line right there. So I'm going to have a little crease right there from that. It's okay. I know it's coming. I can handle that. And I had the crease happen because I was standing up doing this instead of sitting down in my normal way. All right, so we've got our Christmas tree here. And I think, let's see, what we could do it in hunter green, or we could do it in are green confetti. Both are so much fun. If I'm missing your questions, give me a second. Let me go open my iPad so maybe I can see what you're saying, since the camera is angled down so completely that I cannot see a darn thing that you all are saying. And I've got tape stuck to my, get off me! I had tape stuck to my finger. All right, so let me first make sure my volume's way down. And let's go to Facebook. Let's open my, come on. And let's see where we're at. Come on. Good grief. Sometimes just getting things opened up is a challenge. All right, now, comments. All right, now I can see everything. Joy, the reason everything looks backwards is the camera's in selfie mode. So when it's in selfie mode, it basically mirrors everything as opposed to turning it so that it looks like it's reading off of a normal camera. That's why that does that. Let's see. Let's see. The hunter green. All right. Joy said she'd like to see the hunter green. So we're going with hunter green. Thank you for the suggestion. You know, sometimes I get locked in my own head, so I need somebody else to come up with an idea. You never know what would make the best idea. Hey, Joe Allen, nice to see you. Okay, so I am making sure that I'm using a fabric-friendly foil. When you purchase foils from us, all of the foils will tell you whether they're fabric-friendly or not. Most of the fabric-friendly ones have a whitish backing and they're a little bit thicker feeling. But that's not necessarily the case with all of them. So you need to make sure that when you're planning a project like this, that you use a fabric-friendly foil. Hey, Tor, hang on a second, folks. I need to grab a piece of parchment paper that I thought I had here and I don't. Okay, here's why we're using parchment paper. These things are made to be used with heat. That's part of what foil is. But irons can get super concentrated and hot, and I have actually, and I've done it on camera, I have melted the foil to my iron. So I got smart, and we're doing this. Now, we're gonna keep the temperature high. At very least, you want it on wool, because that's going to heat the glue under here again and help it fuse to the foil. A little pressure, take a little time with this, don't rush it. Now when I'm doing it through the parchment paper, I can't see if it's bonded to the surface, but I can come back and I should see a vague outline here, and this will also show me where it's not stuck. Sorry, my cords and my paper and everything are all over the place. I need to get it. That would help if I had the cord behind the light. See, I keep trying to add light and stuff for you all, and this is what happens. I get too many cords and I make too many messes. Frankly, that's always my problem, is I make too many messes. So I'm putting some pressure on it and moving it around. I want to make sure every square inch is ironed and bonded here. So don't sweat this right now. If it's going to take a minute, that's not a problem. And then we're going to flip this over and we're going to release on the other side. We're going to release another foil, another vinyl transfer on the other side. Let me check and see if I think there's any place that did not get good adhesion. Right here, I keep seeming to miss a spot. There we go. Okay. I'm going to put that paper to the side for a second. I'm going to do a quick run directly over this with the iron because I want to just add a little extra heat to make sure it's really well and truly bonded to the vinyl. Now, to peel this off, everything has to be completely cooled. Can this be done with a heat press? Yes, it can be. I believe the deal with a heat press is you set it at 325 and you press the vinyl for about 5 seconds, and then you can do the same with then the foil over it for, I believe it's, oh, let me think for a second. I believe it is 15 seconds. But check on that. Jennifer Ferguson with Artistic Painting Studio, who is our supplier for this vinyl, has more information on heat presses than I do because it's not my specialty, and she has one. I have never used one, so I don't know it all that well. All right, I'm reaching over. I'm trying to get all my little guys out. This is our Santa. So we're going to release a Santa on here too. Let's hope that it goes as well as the tree did on the other side. I have to peel the background, so give me just a second to find the edges. I know you can't see that it's even a Santa from here. I'm pulling white on white, and it's a little hard to read, but you'll get it in just a second. You'll see Santa emerge. And here comes, I should start singing, here comes Santa Claus, right down Santa Claus Lane. All right, well, I guess that made all of you stop watching because I've never claimed to be a gifted songbird. All right, let's get the last edges here. Some really tiny little details in here to peel it back. And here comes Santa Claus, here comes Santa Claus. Yeah, my son's like, Mom, please stop. My poor kid. He used to love it when I sang to him, then he grew up and learned to listen to real music. That poor kid. Okay. We're getting down to the last of it. Oops. Sorry. That light has a 60-minute timer, and it's been on for longer than we've been on. Okay. And here's Santa Claus. Let's see if you can see him up close a little better. There's his head. Yeah, he's not going to read on the camera very well until I release him, but you can vaguely see Santa on there. All right, so let's put our Santa on here. Okay. Santa's head on there. Let me grab my parchment. Actually, I don't need the parchment for this part. Sometimes. Make sure you get any of the little pieces off. You don't want to melt this stuff to the bottom of your iron. It's a mess. All right, so I'm gonna keep just heating and warming and pressing Santa on here. And this will actually warm the adhesive on the other side too, as I'm doing this side. So we'll have a very well bonded tree on the other side. We might have to say a little hopeful prayer for Santa, because sometimes I just don't heat things. And part of this is simply because I do not like ironing. So I tend to go faster maybe than I should. And we're gonna work on a couple of different bags today. I know I was gonna put the truck on the other side, but I decided I like the Santa instead. Because the Santa and the size of the tree balance out nicely. All right, let's make sure I've got them good and warmed. And I'm gonna start peeling them off in a minute. And these all work a little different on each fabric, so you have to kind of play with them to make sure that each one releases well. That was the truck I was going to use for this time, but I'm not going to. All right, I'm going to keep it warming up, because this really releases the best when it's good and hot. Oh, that released really well. Nice and clear. Perfect release. And drop it on the floor. I'll pick it up later. And we're going to use, okay, we got a couple options. I could use plain red, but I think what would be fun, really, would be our Garrison glitter. That would be very festive, very holiday-ish. That way I don't have to figure out how to piece foil in for the hat, the beard, the face. I kind of like doing a little bit of all of this on here. I could be wrong. It could end up looking like crap. But I think I have a feeling this is going to look good if I can get the tape off, because I've taped everything so well that the tape doesn't want to let go. Okay, so back here with our Garrison glitter foil. Cutting a nice foot off. And then we're going to do this. Let me press this on. And we've just had a customer come in, so I'm going to finish up this live in a second. And we'll come back, we'll release all of these foils and peel them back, and we'll work on a couple other projects. But, you know, it's a business day, so I have to be here to take care of my customers as well as you all on Facebook. So give me just a couple seconds. We're going to press this. I want to make sure it's well and truly released on here, or adhered to the transfer vinyl. And take your time with this, don't rush it, because if you rush it, it will not release well. And it's not like it's easy to put another piece of foil over it and heat it up some more. You don't get great results doing that. You really want to do this as a one and done. And it's best to do this on a hard surface versus an ironing board. You get a better, smoother release. If you're using corrugated cardboard, which I had to stop using, don't use that. You get the ripples of the corrugation on your release, and it's not pretty. Not unless that's what you really want to have happen. Okay, I'm pretty sure we're well bonded, but let me just run the iron over this one more time. I want to make sure we are well secured. Okay. Oh, Joy, you can send me a teenager who loves to iron. Bless his heart. All right, let me flip up to me. All right, everybody, we're gonna let these cool. Then we'll come back in a little bit. We'll do a little more of this, and we'll see how continue to work with the process. And I'll be back with you in about 15-20 minutes. Talk to you soon. Hey everyone, welcome back to Painted Studio. Maury Curtis Dunbar here, back making many messes. Now, I had to walk away from our live a little earlier. We had a customer come in. I needed to take care of the business at hand and then come back to you, which was perfect because it gave the piece that we were working on time to cool off so that we can peel the foil back, which is pretty cool. So I'm gonna flip this down. I'm gonna turn my lights on. I hope I got it back on. There's my lights. Make sure all my lights are on so that everybody can see everything. And now we're gonna flip it right down. Now, hopefully I won't mess up the camera doing this. There we go, flipped down. I'm gonna get everything centered in the frame so you see it a little better. There we go, that's better. And I gotta just open up my iPad now, which I can never do before we go live because it will not show me what I need to see. So give me just a sec. Let me open up my page here and I can answer questions as I'm watching you or as you're watching me. All right, that should show me up live and there we go. Here I'm live. Come on, give me the comments. There we go. All right, Angelina, Marm, nice to see you. Terry, great to see everybody here. Okay, so you can see I pulled the foil back on this one. This was my tester, but it's still laying here. Now, first thing I'm gonna show you is how great the release was. You can see the Santa face in the foil, but we did have one little spot over here that didn't release. I must not have gotten the glue well bonded there. So I just cut a little bit of the leftover extras out, placed it and pressed over it, and look, I filled the spot. Now look at my happy little Santa. I love that. That came out so cute. So we're gonna flip this over and we're gonna see how the tree came out. So, oh yes. Now, clearly there are little breaks in that. That happens all the time, but I believe in the magic. I mean, how cute. Hey, Joy, nice to see you. And Lynette. So that came out super, super cute on this. I'll do a little more on here later, but I'm gonna pull out a different bag and we're gonna do some patterns on that one. Now these I got, and you can just get these at, I think I got these at Joann's. Yes, these came from Joann, and they have them in bulk. You can buy 2 packs, 3 packs, whatever you need. So I'm gonna pick out, I think this one would be so cute if I can find him. We're gonna do candy canes. I just have to find them all. I have candy canes, I have Christmas ornaments, I have all kinds of designs I cut. So we're gonna start with candy canes. And there's something else stuck here that I need to get off. Yes, those are Christmas ornaments. Those need to go away. So I figure we'd do a candy cane on either side and then we could go back and maybe put some other things on here. So I've already weeded the whole design, although I just looked in here and caught it in the light that I'd missed a piece. So I like to kind of check it over before I pull the final trigger on it. I think there's a little cutout piece right there that I need to pluck. Now it looks like a dot, but it's not peeling up like one. And see, this is the kind of reason that you don't want to peel the whole side off. I've got a huge piece of hair stuck in there, and that's not very attractive. Okay, so now we just need to peel the outside bit. Now I could get interrupted again. Again, we are open for business. This is holiday season, so it can get pretty busy around here. Thank goodness. I say thank you for every one of our customers. Thank you for everybody who orders from us. We are very, very, very thankful for all of you. But it does occasionally interfere with a live, and I think you all understand why. There's only, I keep trying to find a way to be in more than one place at once, but I don't seem to do a very good job of it. Okay. there's a little bit of cleanup right in there that I have to do because the piece got big and it just tore that little spot off so that it didn't get weeded out. And then I'm gonna do this one as well. This is, the base is sticky, so you have to work a little bit to peel it off when you're doing the big spots like this. It helps if you break some of the adhesive a little so you're not trying to pull it up in a loop like it would be if it was doing the whole thing. Sorry, this is stuck to my fingernail. So if I can just get a solid one strip that I can do instead of pulling it up in a loop around an entire surface, it's really a lot easier. I prefer a little strip like this. It's a lot less surface tension. Okay. Now when I cut these, I cut them in mirror images so that I had a phone call come in and it blanked the screen for a minute, but we're all set. Okay, so I did it, so I could do it like this if I wanted to, or I could just do one on each side, which is really what my goal was. So I'm gonna put one here on an angle. Get anything that's loose and fuzzy out from underneath. And then we're gonna start heat pressing it. Now my iron, again, is set to wool. You can do this through a t-shirt press. Before I get too far with this, there's a little piece of fur. Because I was doing this at home, so it's probably dog fur. There we go. Needed to get it out because that doesn't make the design better. Dog fur generally makes everything a little better, but not in this case. So all I'm doing is now pressing this on to the white cloth, and this is much finer cloth than the other bag. It's a tighter weave, it's more of a twill compared to the coarser fabric and fiber of that other canvas bag that we were working with. This is a thinner white fabric. Again, a little like duck cloth, but thin. Think of the thinnest white jeans you own, and that's a little bit what this is like. I'm just gonna work this until I know it's well melted to the surface. Part of keeping the iron moving is not just to heat the glue, it's you don't want to scorch the fabric because it's not gonna, you could have a perfect release, but if you scorched your fabric, it's not gonna be a happy moment. So take your time, make sure this is thoroughly melted, then peel it back while it's still hot. Yes, and again, really nice release from that. And then we're gonna decide what's gonna go over that. Well, these are candy canes on a white bag, so I think the red and white of the red glitter stars foil is pretty much a given. And let's put it on the whole thing. Now, if you like any of these cutouts that you've seen me work on, let me know. We will put them on the website. They will be made available for you. And to get this on here so that it completely covers the entire candy cane. And then I want to put a little extra. I think I'm just going to pull it that way and just put a little extra down here at the bottom. That way it's safe to assume that I will get a good coverage on it. Stop sticking everything to everything else. All right, now I need to grab my parchment. I'm going to put it over here. And again, we're going to just iron. I'm putting some pressure on this. It's just going to take me a little bit of time to make sure that it's all completely bonded to the foil. See how well you're sticking. I think everything's stuck. But again, I want to make sure, so I'm taking my time. Don't rush these things when it's rushing them that makes them go wrong. Okay. Pull this back and make sure it's all adhered. And then I'm going to run my iron over the foil just to make sure it's completely bonded. I know some people are going to see this and ask why I don't always just go directly over the foil, and that's because you can actually get this too hot and make it melt. I've done it. It's not my favorite thing to do. Oh, Joy, I'm glad you like the tree, and it's so nice to see you all in here. Megan, Denise, Nagarantha, Nagar. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing your name wrong. Forgive me. It's not an easy one. Nagarthna. I want to say it correctly. So if I'm saying it wrong, please tell me. And Aliette and Francisco and Jamie, thank you so much for popping in. Oh, all of you, Lynette and Joy, I love having you all here. And Karen, thank you all for making this live a fun one with me. All right, we're gonna flip this over and we're gonna put the candy cane on this one, and then we're gonna take our third bag. We have 3 of them, believe it or not. There are a full 3 bags. And if you notice, I have little dirt smudges that I got on here from ironing it because, you know, this iron's been a studio iron. So I'm kind of placing my candy cane in a way that I'll put foil over it and it'll hide the little marks. I try to plan things like that a little bit so that I can hide my mistakes. All right, so we're gonna do this. And if you have a t-shirt press, I don't have one, so I have not done it on that, but I have the information. T-shirt press says 325 degrees. For the vinyl adhesive, you press on here for about 5 seconds, and then the foil, once you've released it, it is going to be for 12 to 15 seconds. And if you give me just a second, we did have another body walk in the door, so I just want to greet them. I'll be right back with you. Hey there.
Hi, I'm just going to pick up from Megan.
Oh, Megan, here you go. Hang on just a second, everybody. I had a customer pickup. And here you go. Thank you very much. Have a great afternoon. Happy holiday. The laws in Illinois are now that if you're in a business and customers are in, everybody in the business must be masked. So while I can work without a mask when nobody's here, the second somebody comes through the door, I need to mask up. All right, so we have put on our adhesive. I'm going to warm it one more time because it releases best when it's hot. If you do this, you don't want to press it and then walk away and let the adhesive cool. You won't get a good release of the adhesive from the backing film. You want to make sure it's good and hot when you do this. Yay. This is going to be so cute. Okay, now hopefully this should peel right back, no problem. Yes, there we go. Nice release. The only place I saw a little bubble was right up there. Not enough to concern myself with. And then we're going to take some more red foil and release it over that. Okay. A little piece of tape stuck on there. That needs to come off. That's not going to help anything. Okay, so now again, I'm placing this carefully to see if I can get the entire thing covered. And this one I actually cut just the right size to cover the whole thing. And this is nice because when you put it on when this is warm, the foil will want to grab onto it like immediately. And it makes it very easy to work with. Okay. We're going to put the parchment paper back over it. And let's keep going here. And put a little pressure on it. Don't just run the iron over it. Push down a bit. It helps the bond. And keep moving the iron over the entire thing. You want to heat it all the way up. Also, something else to know, if you have a spot like I had to repair, don't repair it with something that's already been ironed over. It will not give you a good release. You've already heat affected certain parts of the foil. So you want to use a foil that you didn't have near any adhesive. Like if I had to touch up here, I'd take this little edge piece and touch up with it because it hadn't been exposed to the iron. And that's important because once you start messing with this with the heat, you don't get as good a release if you try to do it more than once. Okay, so I've got that on there, and I hope that made sense to you. I hope I was clear with that. Meaning, so I've pressed over this area, just like this, and that heat that I've applied here affects the foil. So you will not, if I needed to touch it up, using any of the foil in here that's been touched by the heat won't help. But if I use the foil on here and here that I didn't press with the iron, that's fine. Now we need to let this completely cool, although that doesn't want to seem to grab right there, and I know there's adhesive in there. So I'm going to kind of go at this for a second. I don't want to have that be the gap spot. Okay, so that should grab. Now that needs to cool. By the time we finish doing the third bag, that one will be cool and we can release the foil and you can see the pattern. Okay, we've got one more bag. And I think, where did my little truck go? I had my truck, there's my truck. So what I'm gonna do is I'll take the outside off from around the truck. There, broke that there. That makes it much easier than trying to pull it up like a big loop. Okay, so now we have, and you can see that all this is right here is just a little bit of foil released at the adhesive on there. It won't affect anything. But now we have our little truck shape with snowflakes in the windows and a tree on top. So I'm gonna take it, I'm gonna put it in the center here, or I could put it over here and then we could put a few trees. I think what I really wanna do is put it here like this, and then I'll put a tree or two over there, because then it'll look like it's driving away from the tree lot. Okay, let's release our foil, transfer vinyl adhesive. Trim this. There's a little piece of vinyl on here that's not necessary. That got weeded out from something else, and it's going to end up on here if I don't take it off. Okay. And we've just had another person pop by, so let me check in with them. I'm gonna have to stop for a little while because we've had another person come by, so I need to take care of the customer that's here, and I'll be back on in a few minutes. I'll see you shortly. Okay, and I'm back. Sorry about that. You know, some days that's how it goes in here. We're getting closer to the holidays, so finding time to do lives can be a little bit of a challenge, but we're back. So we're gonna finish up the projects that we started. I'm gonna turn the camera down. There we go. I want to make sure it's right where everybody can see it. Terry, nice to see you back. Thank you for sticking with me through what is proving to be an interesting day of trying to get a live done. And we're going to just continue to warm our truck that I mounted onto the bag. And we're going to release it in just a second because it cooled while I was talking to our customer. Happy to take care of her. And now we're going to go and finish this project up. So I just got to warm all of this up completely, make sure it's bonded to the surface, and then I'll put foil on here. And we may do a little interesting play with the foil on this. We may have to do some red and some green and some other colors just to make sure we get our definition in the truck. All right, let's see if I can peel this back. Yes, it's peeling off nicely. And as you can see, well, I had a little loss on the truck wheel there down on the bottom, so I'll cut a little piece to fix it. And clearly the piece of foil that was stuck here didn't affect this at all. So I'm gonna take a little tiny piece of leftover adhesive, and this is how you do the patching. So I know my wheel tore right there, it didn't release completely. I'm gonna take a little piece of the foil adhesive, heat transfer vinyl that's left over, and I'm gonna cut a shape close enough to what got shredded. Okay, and then I'm gonna take it and I'm gonna hold it up here and see where it needs to be fixed. Okay, so I'm way off on my wheel, but I kind of stuck it a little bit because it's still hot. Boy, these scissors need sharpening badly. And so I'm just going to put that there. Maybe I'll smooth that spot out right there. It won't be perfect, but it'll be far better than what would be there if I didn't do it. I'm going to take my backing film that I had on here before, push it down, and carefully heat release that little spot. That's how you do the patching. Otherwise, it gets really complicated. Trying to just cut the design over and then clip it apart. I don't do that. I literally get a little piece of the vinyl adhesive that I weeded off and cut it to as close to the right shape as possible, then transfer it. Okay, so we've got our truck and we have a tree. Now we know the truck is gonna be red, and I'm even gonna go red with the wheels. I was gonna try to separate that out and do it a little differently, but since we have that awkward, slightly awkward wheel shape, I'm not gonna mess with it. And this is how we're gonna do this. We're gonna take this up here, let's see. I need to figure this out a little bit. All right, so here's that going there. And then I just need to clip down a little bit. There we go. Make sure this is all lined up. So I've got that down here. And then I think we're gonna have a little fun. Maybe I wanna clip some of this off the bottom so that I don't end up pulling it down by mistake. I'll save that for something else. I'm gonna take our green confetti foil and we're gonna do the upper part and the tree with that. Alrighty. Now that's laid over there. Let me grab my parchment paper. Set it down gently because I don't want to flip the foils off of where I worked so hard to lay them. Get all my crud out of the way so that I can iron it without ironing something that's not supposed to be ironed. All right, so here we go. I'm still set on wool. And I am going to work this for a few minutes. Just keep going, heating it whole thing up, making sure it's well adhered to the vinyl adhesive that we just released. And again, we carry this heat transfer vinyl adhesive at paintedstudio.com. It's easy to work with, comes in 3-foot rolls. And then we have pre-cut designs. If you look there right now, there's no Christmas ones because I'm testing our Christmas ones right now. So I wanted to make sure before I put them up there that they were good designs and that they released on the foil well and they had a good clear enough pattern so that you could see something fun on them. Because sometimes you can get a pattern that it just doesn't look that great once you do all the work on it. All right, so let's pull that back gently because the static's wanting to pull the foil up too, and I don't want the static to pull the foil. I want the foil to stay down. I want the paper to come up. All right, and we're going to do another pass over this with the iron. And you can see my iron's a little hotter now. It's been on for a while and it's wanting to kind of play with the foil. I could easily, if I got it any hotter, I would have issues with it melting the foil. And nobody wants that. All right, now I'm sure I've got this all completely adhered to all of this, and that's gonna cool. We're gonna flip it over, and let's see what I've got left. I have got some ornaments. I think I may just do a few ornaments in different places on this side. So let me cut them apart. And I have to do this very carefully because when I cut these, I place them super close together to get as much on a piece of vinyl as possible. Okie dokie. Put that extra over there. And let's see. so we have this cute little ornament design. That'll be, I think I'm just gonna do a bunch of little ornaments and place them all over this, and then we'll release different adhesives on it. I mean, different foils over the adhesive on it. And we'll have a bunch of different colors, and it'll be very festive, I think. Let me find the lift spot over here. This is gonna be cute. Sorry, my watch was twisted around my wrist in a way that was really uncomfortable. Okay, let's find our little lift spot here. I have a bunch of different ornament designs, so I'm not going to make you sit and watch me do all of them. We'll just do a few of these, and I think then we can call it a day, since it took me 3 times to get to all of this. Oh my goodness. Okay, that one could go over there. Let's see. I want to make sure I get them all in. All right, we'll do those 3 like that. We'll start with those, and we're going to release the adhesive with the heat. Now, the foil, this adhesive and these specific fabric foils are machine washable. We do tell you not to put things in the dryer. That reactivates the adhesive, and then stuff peels off or cracks, and it might even stick to something else in the dryer. Let's hope that's not, you know, something that happens. I've thrown a few things like this through the dryer as well, and they kind of stick together, so it's not a great thing to do. And it then also, you're constantly reheating adhesive, so it becomes brittle. It's not a good thing to do. So if you need to wash this, machine wash, but line dry. Okay, that came off really nicely, even though there's a little piece of dog fur in there that I'm gonna have to find a way to get out. Alrighty. That one came out well, and then this is the last one to peel off. Got to make sure it's hot when you peel it, otherwise you will not get a release that makes you happy. And there we go. All 3 of those ornaments released. I'm going to take my tweezer and go in and get the dog hairs. This is what happens when I work from home. Things get dog hair in them. And the reason I'm pulling it out instead of foiling over it is because the dog hair will be the spot where the bond for the foil is weak and you won't get a good release, or it'll do something sad. All right, we're going to try a couple different foils. This one's going to be our Cubism Gold. Take a little piece of this, put it over one of the ornaments. There's that one. Let's do a couple that are interesting. Here, we're gonna do our navy silver camo. That'll be fun because that'll release. You won't know that it's a camo pattern once it's released. It'll just look like a bunch of different colors. Again, don't do these with foils that you aren't sure are for fabric. You won't get the result you want. It won't be washable. They won't be as flexible. They aren't designed for fabric, so you won't get as good a release. Okay, Okay, we've got that on there. I don't want to do that way. I want to have it go in the same direction as the pattern on the ornament. And what else have we got over here? Oh, let's do this one. This is our blue-green tie-dye. And again, just a little piece of foil. I'm going to turn this extra light on over here, see if that helps things, just so that you can see it better. And I think that one died. I think I killed the light. The battery wore out. I had an extra light. I think the battery wore out on it. Well, I know that'll be charging tonight. Okay, so we got that over that piece. So again, where did my parchment paper go? There it is. Parchment paper, and let's start pressing. I did pick Christmassy colors to do all the ornaments in, so it's silvers, greens, golds, reds, and blues. So there's plenty of that available to do these patterns, but you know, I just like to mix it up. I don't carry a lot of red. It's not a big call for color. So we have a solid red, and then we have the red glitter stars, but of the two, the red glitter stars is the only one that's fabric friendly. So we only have one red to play with right now. Let's hold this here for a second. Side. Quick one just to make sure it's all bonded. I'm pretty much sure it is. I can see that the outlines of the ornaments on this already, so I'm not that concerned. All right, now this has to sit to the side and cool, so we'll release the other bag and see how our candy canes came out. Oh, look how cute. Now there's a couple broken spots there. There's still adhesive, so I can come back with my foil like that. Actually, I want to put it up over the whole thing because I don't want to put my iron directly on the foil that was already released. I don't want to mess with what went right. All right, so I'm going to leave that there for a second. We're going to flip over the other side. And we'll peel this one back. See how our release worked. Oh, that came out really nicely. Now there's always going to be a broken spot or two like we had right there. This is a little something that's stuck on there, but that's okay. Let's fix that. So look how cute that candy cane came out. Oh, I love that. Turn it so you can see it. Make sure there's plenty of light on it. Look how cute that is. I'm very happy with that. Sorry, trying to make it so that you're seeing more of this, not less of it. I really like how that looks. That's super glam, super glittery. The stars show and really nicely. How fun is that? So I have all kinds of little other trees and holly. So I think maybe this one with the candy canes, I'll probably do some holly and greens. And then let's see if I can, I think that might be a little warm still. Yep, that came off though, it worked. Flipped it right off. And my patch is right there and you can't see it. So look how nicely that came out. And if I'm not happy here, I'll just patch it up a little bit. All right, let's pull the other one over here. here's our truck. I hope this one comes out as cute as it looked like it was going to. I'm going to release it facing you so we can see it together. Oh, I love it. And a little spot that might need touch up there. Okay, so I have a couple spots here and here. And that's what I'm going to use all of this stuff to fix. I'll cut a little extra here because I clearly did not get that well bonded. I'm going to put a little extra there, and we'll do any repairs to the bigger damaged spots, and that'll be perfect. I love this, though, but how cute is this with the truck and the tree and the snowflakes? So all I just need to do is touch up those spots, and we'll be good to go. All right, we're going to release the ornaments. Oh, these are so cute. How cute are those? Here's our blue-green one. And then this is the navy camo, which just looks like a blue and silver pattern. It's hard to see it on camera, I know. And then look at that gold one. That came out so cute. I know somebody's asking me a question, and let me see if I can turn it this way and flip this up a little bit. Oh, Lori, you want to watch me do a repair? Sure. Let me flip this back down. We're going to do a repair. Okay, so we had a couple funny spots there, and here, and here. I have all this leftover vinyl. I don't throw it out until I'm done with the job. I can take my scissor and just cut out what boils down to is a patch piece. So I want to make sure it's going to fit that spot. And that's good. It'll fit right there. It's a little warm, so I can kind of stick it on with my finger. And then I take another little piece. And it really is a nearly seamless repair because the adhesive just melts down to the surface and becomes level. I want to get this on here. And let's see. Take that little piece and I'll stick it right there. I'm not going to try to make this perfect over the whole thing because hand-created items aren't perfect, but I can make it better. Okay, let's take a look at how that's going to repair. I need to cut some of this down a little. Because I don't want to lose my lug nut holes. So I want to make sure that I keep the design while repairing the damage. And it's not, I don't even think damage is the right word for it. It's just where I didn't get a good release. Okay, so I've got that on there. I'm going to take fresh foil to repair this, not used foil, because the heat's already hit this and it will not be happy if I try to go over it again with adhesive, with foil that already got heated. It will not release well. Okay, so I'm patching up those spots. I'm going to take a little piece of this. I'm a Lego. Now I could cut these just to patch the one spot, but because this is the simplest way for me to approach this right now, and you can see what I'm doing easily. So I put the foil, the correcting foil over. Now I'm putting my parchment back down, and we're going to press. And you have to remember where your repairs are so that you can make sure that you heat that area well enough for the foil to release on there. Now I'm kind of doing this two ways. I could have heat released the transfer and then put the foil on, or I could do it the way I'm doing it now. Now that I've done it this way, I really have to make sure it's good and cool before I try to pull it off. Because I could have just first put the transfer film over that adhesive and released it on here, and then put the foil on and release the foil. I did it in one step, which is fine for something like this. It doesn't work on a big one. You can't do that. You just don't have all that stuff floating around. But this repair will work well. All right, now I've done that. Pull that up. And there it looks like I could just patch a little bit the way that grabbed for a second there. A little bit of a patch right there. Let's see what happens. Okay. Be careful with your iron. Yeah, mine's gotten a little hot. I nudged it up, so it's wanting to get a little hotter than I want it to be. So you have to be really careful not to melt this to your iron, because I've done it. Just want to smooth that over that. Get a little repair in there. Touch up there. Whoops. Well, it started to melt to the iron, but it did the repair. So you can see the repair is in there, and you can't even see it. It's perfect right there. Now, normally that shouldn't have worked as well as it did because I pulled it off hot, but darn it, I'm not complaining. So now we have our other repairs. Yay! Pull that back. And let's do this a little bit here. I just want to smooth it out. So the other thing is that when you repair something like this, it shifts the shine so that my repaired spots were a little shinier than the spots I did first. So the way to fix that is to come back over it with the foil so it's all uniform, iron over it, pull it back. Now all the shine is the same. But look how cute the truck is. Oh my God, that's so cute. Now I have other trees. We're gonna put some other trees here in different colors. And look, it looks like they're driving off the lot. This side, we're going to do all ornaments. It's gonna be super Christmassy. Our candy canes, we're going to add holly to them. And our other tree, I think we might leave it as it is because it's just so cute with the big tree on it. I mean, this one, believe in the magic of Christmas, and Santa is on this side. The only thing I might otherwise do is put a little something on here to make Santa a little more obvious. I might even paint some in here with my fabric, or I might come in and outline it with my, sorry about that, declining that phone call so I can finish here with you all today. I don't want to ignore you and this has just been a day. Everybody wants to interrupt me when I'm talking with you guys. Tell them to stop it. So if I wanted to, I could come in and patch a little more here. I might just leave it as it is because I like the rustic bag and the little bit of rusticness around the edge. But you saw how easy this was. It's super simple. If you get a bad spot, like I got my little tip of my tree here isn't perfect, I could fix it. So I think we're loving how these are working on our tote bags. Let me flip the camera up. Come on, go up. Come on, up a little further. There we go. So, yes, I am very popular today. I don't know what it is. It's a Tuesday. Everybody loves me today. All right, everybody, it's been a great couple of lives. I will post these. I will answer any questions that I might have missed. I will post the names of the materials that we have used today in all of the videos. And then I'm going to stitch them all together before I post them on YouTube so that they're all one cohesive video instead of 3 kind of fractured ones. Thank you for your patience today, everybody. Don't forget, our sale is going on until Monday. 15% off site-wide with some very specific exceptions of faux effects products, classes, and custom ordered items. We also have a sale on foils where you buy 5 feet of foil, get 1 foot free. However you want to do it to get to 5 feet, and whatever foil you'd like as your extra foot, that's available to you. Just let me know. Go right to paintedstudio.com. The discounts are taken at the cart. The foil, however, buy your 5 feet, and in the notes at checkout, tell me what you want for your extra foot. If you don't tell me, I'll make the decisions myself based on what you've already ordered, and you'll get a couple extra feet or an extra foot, depending on how much you've ordered of colors you've already chosen. All right, everyone, have an absolutely wonderful day. Stay healthy, stay well, and start prepping for Thanksgiving. Gosh, I gotta go home and bake pies. Whoop. All right, everyone, have a great day. I'll talk to you soon. Thanks, everyone.